All right, good morning, everybody. We'll get started, looks like in approximately a minute or two. So hang tight, let me know the audio is okay, and if you can hear music in the background, you should be able to hear that. And we'll be right with you. All right, looks like audio is okay. Excellent. All right, get started in just a sec here. All right, how's everybody doing out there? Welcome to Stock Analysis Friday. Great to have you here on this March 24th, 2023. Okay, so what you're going to need to do for us to share information is become familiar with the comments area in the software you're using. You know, we broadcast over YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So whatever format they give you there to chat with us, that's where I need you to communicate with us. And what I mean by that also is this is where you're going to put your stock symbols in for me to look up. So type those in caps. You can start right now. I'm going to go through a few administrational things, but then we'll hit it running here as soon as we're done with that. So, okay, so here we go. Market right now is down about 171, but I got to tell you, it has been all over the place. So who knows where that's going to end up in a little bit. All right, so let's go ahead and go through the presentation disclaimer. We have to let you know that there are risks involved in trading and investing. We work in a realm of probabilities and not guarantees. But you know, like I always say, without that risk, there is no opportunity. So the two really go hand in hand. What you kind of want to do is know your risk and always trade with risk capital. And the important part of that, of course, is always know how to calculate your position size or trade size. Some people even refer that to bet size when you actually make a trade in the markets. And also too, one of the important thing is check with your financial advisor or accountant or attorney, whoever manages your money or gives you advice, to be sure any of the trades we talk about today are suitable for you. We don't know your personal situation. Of course, they do. So definitely check with them. And then finally, past performance does not guarantee future performance. Also, too, we have a number of books available for your trading education. We're coming out with a brand new book called The Art of Trading this year. It should be out by towards the middle to end of the year here. It's the second edition of the first book called The Art of Trading, which did really well. This one's, I think, even going to do better because there's a whole ton of new information in that. You can pre-order that, and I will put the link up to our book area in the recording. So if you're watching the recording, look below in the area there under the description for the books. Also realize too, we'll put a timeline in there too. It does take us a couple hours to get that in there after the live event, but we do definitely get in there. And then we have the Money Management for Traders, second book from the right on risk control. So this is a really important aspect of trading, often overlooked by many. And really, it's a great area to add to your entire software toolbox, so to speak, for traders. In fact, if you don't have it, it's going to be tough for you to be successful in this business. It's very simple to implement once you understand what it's all about and have the rules. And that's what that book is all about. So definitely pick that up at Amazon. We have a page there for you to get any of our books. We also have one on Elliott Wave, etc. So those are our books that are available. We also have some great software. You're going to see that software being used today. We have charting software, we have scanning software, and we have risk control software. Now, what we just started is we're offering a paid trial on our software, and I'm going to put the link for that paid trial in the recording area. So it's a 30-day trial, And we even give you a home study course that you can actually keep for free as well. And so it gives you an opportunity to test all of our charting software. And so you may want to take that trial and get started. So I'll put that link up in there if you don't already have our software. And then finally, I want to thank everybody for being here. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Bring a friend. The more people we have, type it in stocks, the better for us, all of us, okay? Because that's how we can find our stock opportunities. And then finally, thank you for attending. I know everybody's busy, especially on a Friday, so we really appreciate you being here. All right, the symbols are coming in. I love that. Thank you so much for doing that. What I want to do here real quick is jump in and just take a look at the charts and explain to you kind of what you're looking at first. So what I have is I have a charting platform where our software tools plug into. And this charting software platform I'm using now is NinjaTrader. And it is a very popular trading platform. It connects to a lot of brokers, etc. And all our software tools are loaded in there. So what you're looking at are 3 charts of the same symbol. And I happen to have the ETF GBTC for Bitcoin because it's been doing so well. I did want to go over that since we've talked about that previously. And I have different time frames on the same symbol. So I have the 60-minute time frame on the far left here, giving us the short-term look at the market. I've got the daily chart in the middle for the intermediate, and then the weekly chart on the far left for the long-term aspect. So whenever we look at a chart, it's nice to be able to look at these different aspects of the same symbol, and it helps us determine timing, when to exactly enter. So we look for the short term to be good, the intermediate term to be good, and then we want to try to understand what the long term is telling us. So that's kind of what we're looking at when we look at symbols. Now, on the far right, we're not going to be using this today because we're just going to be looking up stock symbols. This is our, we're moving it around right now, this is our risk to reward calculator. That is what we use to actually determine trade size, or also known as position size. So that's our risk control software. So you can get that on our website, and we use that whenever we really take a trade, whether it's a position trade or a day trade, so we know what our trade size should be. All right, so that's really important. That helps us with our risk control. And then at the top here, the rainbow colored columns and rows, this is our scanner working. So that's our scanners. We probably won't be using those today because I'm going to be focusing on your symbols. All right, GBTC I want to cover first. This is Bitcoin, the ETF for Bitcoin. Now, there's also futures in Bitcoins and things like that. But generally, the ETFs on these will be very similar to what's going on in the futures market. So when we look at this here, notice that it's done well. You know, we talked about this back in early of this year when it was starting to break to the top side. And we think this is the beginning of something quite big. We think it could be a long-term bullish move. It won't go straight up. It'll do these zigzags along the way. But I see no reason to get out of this if you're in it. I think the first stop in terms of a goal for this is around 25 bucks to 37. We got in a little bit, suggested it, I think, around about the mid $9.50. So you've almost doubled your money on it. All right. And so I know a lot of people think, well, I'll get out now, but we see a lot more highs on this. Okay. So I would stay with it. How many people are in Bitcoin right now in some form or fashion? There's many different ways to participate, but we did talk about that. So let's see. All right, if you could let me know in the chat area, I'd be interested. Now, the other crypto that we recommended was Coin. And this stands for Coinbase. And this, very similar to crypto, it's going into a little bit more of a pullback right now. It's not quite as bullish as the GBTC, but one of our indicators down here called the PTF, this is really an excellent indicator, says after this move down, we should see more highs. So it's calling, this indicator alone has a 75% accuracy rate, and it's calling for highs in the upper 80s. But the chart on the left-hand side has a red one. So we're still correcting, all right? We're still coming down, but this bottom should hold. So hopefully that will be the deal here. So Stu is in Coin, good. Stu, you may want to consider GBTC. That's another one, all right? That's good. So, you know, I think we could have a significant bottom in that. So I think that could do really well going forward. All right, good, excellent. All right, well, let me jump in. The spider. Let's take a look at the SPY here. And Jim, this is for you, okay? So just so you know, we have an entire service around forecasting and plotting the Elliott wave and seeing what our tools look like on the various time frames on those indexes. It's called the Moore Report, and Moore stands for Market Opportunity. So we go into great details with specifics on what levels we think is going to occur in the long-term markets. And on this case here, we see it obviously pulling down. We're down a little bit, but our indicator in the middle, which is the green PTF, all right, if you see, take a look at this and see that, Jim, it's calling for another move back up on the spider here, okay? So, which is the S&P, all right, which will affect the Dow, and I'm sure we're seeing that also in the NASDAQ too. So we don't think a big sell-off is coming right away. Now, we have a red one over here. So we are bearish long-term. Short-term, though, I think we're going to get a little lift here. So we've sold off quite a bit, you know, the interest rate jitters and everything that was causing issues, the bank failures. And so we're probably due for a lift off that particular type of news. But again, I don't think we'll break out and go above the all-time high here. I think this will be just some more volatility in what I'm calling now actually as a bear, long-term bear market. I don't really see this bear market being over now until probably mid to end of next year. And it's going to be volatile. And even though markets are still fairly high, this is what these bear markets do. They kind of go up, they meander, and then the shoe drops. So we're looking at bearishness long-term on this, bullishness short-term, all right? And that makes sense because we have a lot of bullish trades out there still that we're recommending because I think we're going to get one more lift. All right, so that's kind of the way I'm seeing that, and hopefully that helps. All right, so Adrian, how are you? Okay, JP Morgan. All right, so this is currently coming down, obviously, all right? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to see that, right? But with our software, what we're looking at here are two pyramid trading points that the ART software has plotted and actually given entries to. So this is your entry, this is your stop. Then we move our stop down to the next period. We have red here, red here. So we're still going down, all right? So that's kind of the way we're looking at it here. And we don't have any PTFs of a red or green color. They're all yellow. That's that indicator in the middle. So we have no PTF indicator. So basically, you got to wait for this to turn around, all right? And it could possibly take out the bottom here before it does that. So I would not go long yet, all right? If you're long, you probably have been already stopped out because our system would have had you out way up here at 140. So if anything, you're short right now, okay? So that's kind of what we're looking at like there. All right, Tesla, let's take a look at that bad boy. All right, so we did look at this, of course, last week, all right? And, you know, it came down to this little level here, had a big move off the bottom, came down here, and then we expected to see a bounce off here, and we got it. Now, here's what could happen on Tesla right now. This is a bounce off a pretty significant bottom here. It's either going to stop here and go higher, or before it goes higher, because we do think it's going to go higher, it could do a zigzag and then go higher. So that's why it's really important. If you plan to be in this up to the target, we do think this will get into the 400s and possibly as high as 500. If you want to be there for that, you have to keep the stop low. And for right now, that would mean here, all right, which is pretty low, all right? So that's why we always try to get in, and our pyramid got us in that low so we could put that stop right under that pyramid. So that's ideally where you want it to be. Now, if you were just trading the leg up, which could be leg one of an Elliott wave, then the pyramids are going to track you, take you out of that, and then put you back into wave three. So right now, if we were trading the pyramids, we would not be long, okay? We would be waiting for the next pyramid. And it makes sense because you got red here, you got red here. But it looks like we're going to get some pullback up. So let's see if we can break this high. If we break this high, all right, chances are you'll get another pyramid there and you're going to want to go long. So long term, we're bullish on Tesla. Short term, we're still, I think, at an area where we could get a little bit more movement down, or the movement down could be done and we could get a spring up. So stop loss placement is everything here. All right. But again, bullish long term, Adrian, on that. Okay. All right. Hi, Sergio. ITB. Let's take a look at ITB here and see what we've got cooking here. All right. So ITB. So here is ITB, and ITB's got a green PTF on the, you can see that right there. All right, on the 1 minute, yellow on all the others. Let's open up the weekly chart for just a moment. We've had a pullback here. So let's see what we've got cooking. I don't see really a clear ABC there. So this could be, we've got to be careful here. It could be more of a broad-based, and then it could come up. That's the only thing we got to be careful here. So I would expect this, you know, it came up to the inflection point and then pivoted down. Let's see if it takes this recent high out. If it does, then that's extremely bullish, okay? So we'll have to see. So that high would be 74, and that's what this PTF is saying. So that's looking pretty good here. But you got a red owl and you got a red owl, which is this first indicator. We call this the owl. This is a histogram that measures momentum. So we don't like to go long on any of the signals unless that is basically a green color on those short time frames. So I don't think I would do anything with this. If you're long already based on a long-term trade, just stay long, but keep your stop really low. And notice the pyramids, you know, had you out here after a nice entry here, and then we trailed our stops and got out here. So you're out of this impulsive wave. And that doesn't mean after the correction you don't get another impulsive wave. So we may go back into that. But I would wait at this particular point. Now, if you're buying and holding this much longer, you can use this pyramid down here on the weekly chart. That's why we like the multiple time frame analysis. Kind of tells us what's going on for different aspects of trading and possibly even investing. Okay, so that's where we are with that. And that is ITB. Thanks, Sergio, for that one. All right, Paul, how are you? IWM. Let's take a look at that one. When we looked at that one before. Okay, so this one coming down still. We got a lot of red on the histograms, on especially the daily and the 60-minute chart. And we had drawn in, all right, a point of inflection here, from here to here. It went above that, but did not take the high out, okay? So now it's starting to move down. So it's kind of stuck in this area here. Now, when we get this kind of roly-poly thing, all right, what we like to do also is actually draw in pennants when we can. And right now, you know, if we drew this in here and then drew this in here, you could certainly see, all right, you had a breakout on this one. Whoops. You had a breakout earlier on that one and here. And now it's gone up and now it's broken down. So now basically, let's see if we can redraw the pennants for a wider angle. And now that's currently what's kind of unwinding. So I would say probably, you know, we've got bearish pyramids in play. I think we're heading down. All right, it's just not quite done yet. And we'll have to see when that ends. So the PTFs are all yellow at this time. So that's kind of a messy market, see? So really it's more kind of in between here and here as a channel, but the channel is starting to narrow, which is what happens with pennants. So let's see if we get a bounce off here to the upside, and then we'll have a nice lower pivot point for our bottom leg of a pennant. But right now, she's still heading down, okay? So that's IWM. All right, let's take a look at MARA. And Paul, this again is for you. All right, so this one, this one is what drives the buy and hold people crazy. So look at the weekly chart, all right, on the far right. So way down here, Okay, way up here and then way back down here. So basically, if you bought this 3 years ago, you'd be right smack where you bought it. All right, unless you were smart enough to get out here. So, buy and hold, that's what you're subject to. Us as traders, all right, we try to trade those swings in the market. So here's the deal, all right, we still got a bearish position kind of active here with a stop that could be possibly placed here soon. So I don't think I would go long yet, but this is setting up to be probably a decent buy, because we may be seeing a bottoming pattern in the daily chart. So I'm kind of liking this for a watch list right now. All right, it's starting to look pretty decent. So I like it. What I would like to do is think about going long if prices got above this point here, and we'll probably get a pyramid before then. But then I have to check here to make sure these are green at the time. So I wouldn't do anything with this yet, but I would put it on a watch list, okay? So let's write that down as one that can go on a watch list at this point. And if you're in it, okay, you might have a little bit more pullback before it goes. So watch list, MARA on this one. Not quite ready yet. All right, SMH, let's take a look at that one. All right, so here's SMH here. All right, so this is pulling off a nice pullback bottom. Let's open up that weekly chart here. Okay, very, very nice clear chart. And if you're using Elliott wave, there it is right there. 3, okay, possible 4, on our way up to a high of 5. Now, you got a pyramid here, and looks like maybe the only thing from an Elliott wave standpoint that causes me pause is that if this is an A, this was a big pullback B, C certainly went below, so it could be over. I usually like to see C a little deeper, but that ain't bad, all right? That's looking pretty good. Let's draw in some fib retracements here. And let me just see if I make sure I get the right points. It's really important when you draw in fib retracements to draw them correctly, and we have a whole course on that, Let's see. Okay, so it hit the fib target zone. So let's connect the dots. This occurred and had to occur in terms of the retracement depth, had to come down to that fib target zone. So that makes sense. This is a 3, this is a 4. Now we're looking at a possible 5 long term. So now let's draw the extensions in. All right, so there's the possible highs on that between 337 and 443. Okay, so not bad. All right, now an alternate possibility is A, B, C, and you'll get stopped out, and then it could go. But I don't think you should pass on this trade, okay, because it certainly has met the minimum requirements to take it. So that is looking pretty good. We've got green down here. We've already got pyramid entries. So I'm kind of liking it. And I think, you need to put your stop under this level here. So let's put this here as a buy for today. This is a good one. Okay, SMH. And then I would try to hold it to that target zone. Okay, definitely try to do that. All right, I think, Paul, those are all for you. Okay, good. All right, let me just keep going down here. All right, Adrian's telling us he has a Tesla 250 call. Okay, so there you have it. All right, Stu, Dash. Let's take a look at Dash here, DASH. I do want to take a look at gold. I do want to take a look at silver. Okay, remember last week we looked at silver and we said it looked good, but it just had to get a little better? Well, it did. So silver, let's make sure we don't forget to look at silver. All right, so here's Dash, all right? And Stuart, I like the fact that it came way down, it bottomed, and it gives, now we have an opportunity to get long early. So that is a good thing. All right, so if you're trading for a more long-term aspect using the weekly chart here, looks pretty good. I think probably at this point you could go long. You have to put your stop, I think, under that pyramid here, okay? So that looks good. Here we've taken out the bearish pyramid, so that's not a problem. All right, we could wait here for another pyramid before going in, but you've got green here, nothing red here, and we have green now here. So I'm thinking go in now. All right, if you can, try to put your stop as low as you can in case you have volatility here. You know, that's really one of the important aspects of trading is you can be right in the direction and wrong on your stop, and then you get stopped out. And then the market goes where you think it's going to go. So stop loss placement is really important. I think with the kind of volatility you're starting to see on the daily chart, you kind of want to make sure that stop is far enough away. So I'm going to put Dash down as a buy today. All right, I think that's a good one. But I think you also got to be careful with your stop. If you put it here, okay, that certainly makes sense and certainly could hold. But if you get some unforeseen volatility, it may be get taken out. So you got to be a little careful about that. Now, if you get taken out, you can always go back in. All right, but that's a good one. All right, I do think we have some potential to the upside. And, you know, as a devil's advocate here, I think maybe, all right, at the very least, if we want to be conservative on this, I think probably the retracement here on this could be right around 115 to 162, and we're at 59, so that's a double your money, okay? And that's a fairly conservative target. That's basically just a normal retracement. So that's not too bad, okay? So I'm kind of like that. All right, let's take a look at Meta and see how Facebook is doing these days. All right, so when we looked at Meta before, all right, we drew in the 50% retracement area on the weekly chart, and we got that. The problem is this is red. So after this retracement, if this doesn't turn abruptly green, then we're going to get another swing down at some point. So it's still going up, and let's see if it goes up enough to turn this green. Don't know if it will, all right, but it's still bullish. Now, we do have bearish divergence. So if you look at the owl histogram, you have higher highs and not as much momentum on the current highs you had previously. So that is called bearish divergence, and you have that also on the short-term chart. But it is green, okay? So, you know, if you were able to get in on this move up to the correction area, that's great. You would have done great. But now, you know, you've got your stop here. It's too late to go now, but your stop should be right under that pyramid. So your first entry on this, okay, would have gotten you into a nice profit, and then you would have just trailed your stops. So that's kind of where we are on that. So Meta, I think, may go a little further, but I think it could be almost done on this move up. Then on the next move down, so after it moves up, it'll come down to an inflection point, and then we got to see what's going to happen after that, okay? So right now, so far, longer term, it's a bearish situation. So this would be a bullish retracement in a bear market on this. All right, so that's Meta. All right, let's take a look at NVIDIA, NVDA. All right, so we looked at NVIDIA before. That went right on our buy list. We all love that. Remember, we looked at that weeks ago, and it's doing great, okay? Our target on this, and let's open up the weekly chart. Our target on this is between 307 and 430. Now, Elliott wave, 3, 4, and 5. And notice here on wave 4, you got that clear B wave. And then a nice big C wave. So this was a beautiful retracement, hit the target zone perfectly. We got a negative owl. You have to have a negative owl on a major wave 4. So that was good. That was your wave 4. You can almost count the Elliott waves using the owl. And then now this is 5, green PTF, calling for highs above here, which put it right into the target zone. Okay, so I'm really liking that. All right, the problem is now I can't recommend it per se right now because it's so close to the target. You'd be getting in a little late, because what's probably going to happen is you're going to get a pullback. So if you go in late on a move up, the chances of getting stopped out on just some profit taking increases greatly. So it always pays to get in early. So if you got in when we first suggested this on Stock Analysis Friday, many weeks back, months back probably, you did well. All right, you're doing really well. Now, if you want your stop really ratcheted up close, keep it right here on this pyramid. This is the beautiful thing about our pyramids, is it tells you not only when to go in at the points, but where to put your stops at the bottoms. And what it's doing is it's looking at price pattern analysis and fractals in the market. And then inside the pyramid itself, there's some calculations going on in the momentum that formed the pattern that made it. And so not all fractals produce pyramids. Okay, but when they do, they're very powerful, and that's why they work so good. All right, so there it is. Okay, that's NVIDIA. Outstanding. All right, let's keep going. EOO, we love this one. EOSE, and this is one of Al's. All right, this is one. The reason we liked it so much is that this was one that came way, way down. All right. And then formed a bottom, and then look at this. This bad boy turned green on the weekly chart. That's really, really good. Not a lot of history, but also we got a pyramid entry down in here. So this is looking really, really good, and you got a pyramid here. So let's go through all the time frames here. So you've got green here, but you have red here, but you have green here. So the PTF is saying on the short-term time frame that we're going to have a return after this move down for further highs. So that's a good thing. The red owl is saying we're having a move down. So this move down is basically a correction in an ongoing trend. So if you're using a longer time frame like the daily, you'd still be in this chart. All right. If you're a super short-term trader over just a couple days, you would have gotten in here and you would have been out here. So you would have already taken your profit. So it all depends on your intentions of how long you want to be in a trade. Some people only like to, trade swings based on a 60-minute chart. You would have done well here. If you're trading the swing on the daily chart, you'd still be in it, and your profits could even be greater after this correction is over. And this pyramid stop is far enough away, you're not going to have a problem. So I'm not going to recommend this one at this time. It was recommended before, but with the pullback here, wait until the pullback ends, and we'll look at it next week, and you can probably go back in. Okay, you're probably still in it though. I am. Okay, so I think it's still a good one. All right, so I think that's excellent. Now, let me take a look at silver before I forget, and that I'm just going to bring up the ETF SLV. So silver, all right, we were waiting for that to bottom, and it did here recently. Now it had a nice move up, and here's your pullback. Notice your pullback was right to the 50% point of inflection on this first move up. Beautiful, okay? Then things started turning green, no longer a red PTF. So now we've washed out that. And so this is a go. Okay, we really like silver at this point. We've been patient with it for a long time. We've been wanting to get into this for a long time, but the opportunity wasn't there until after this pullback. So that's where we are now, all right? So it's looking pretty good. Let's see on the long-term charts. We had this big move up off the bottom here, all right? And that was back in the year 20, okay? And then we had it settling back down. So now we have a bottom here. Now it came back down, and so now I think it's going to go again. So I think it's worth a trade here, okay? I'm liking it. So I'm seeing it continue to move up. It won't move straight up, but I think if you can get in now, and right now if you get in now, put your stop here. Now you will get a pullback, all right? So you can also wait for the pyramid if you're using our software, all right? And there's no longer an active P pyramid because this one would have been stopped out. So the gateway is clean for a long trade. So I'm going to put down silver, okay, as one that I like on the buy list for today. That's SLV. And you could use an option on this, or you could wait for a little bit of a pullback, okay? So that's a good one. All right, now GLD. Let's take a look at our bad boy on gold, okay? Give me 1 second. All right, so let's pull up gold. Now, remember we were bullish on gold before, and boy, has it not let us down. So PTFs are still all green, so I'll still continue to hold it. Put your stop on this pyramid here, right down in here, right below around the 180 mark. Okay, you need to be pretty precise with this. So with our software, it's going to give you the precise price bar to put your stop, and that's that down price bar there, one tick under. So for example, if we bring up the data window here, all right, and bring that data window over to here, just put your price bar on the flat part of the pyramid with your mouse and look at the low of that price bar, and it's 179.90. So your stop wants to be at 179 at least 0.89, not higher, okay? So that's where your stop needs to be for that. And we're almost at the target. It's too late to go in now, all right? We're getting too close to the target at this particular point for a short-term trade. Long-term trade, you might have a little bit better chances, but you got to move that stop down a little further. So gold turned out to be a real winner. This was one of ours that was really, really good, okay? Pretty cool. All right, so TLT, I want to take a look at the bonds because this is another one we've been patiently waiting, and we still have a red PTF here and here. So this is calling, this indicator is calling the bottom not in. All right, that's what that means. And unless these turn to green, we can't go long using our trading approach. It's green here, but that just says basically we're going above here. So you're probably going to get up to 109, 110. So it's still kind of meandering up, but then the shoe should drop and it will come back down according to those two indicators. So we're going to watch it to see if things change, but for right now, we're not going into that one, okay? We kind of want to stay clear of that one. But we do like silver this week, okay? All right, pretty cool. All right, let's see, anything else? Let me just make sure I got through all of them here. So far I like SMH, Dash, and silver. All right. And let me just make sure I didn't miss any. I did miss one. All right, so on the cryptos, ETH, Ethereum. Okay, let's take a look at that bad boy. All right, Ethereum is not like Bitcoin, nor like Coin. And the reason I'm not excited about this is this bad boy is still red. Okay, so Paul, that's one that I'm not going to go into until that changes. And it may change. But for right now, it's saying hold off. So this one is not as bullish to me as GBTC. GBTC, which we looked at already, is terrific. So don't do this one yet, but we'll look at it. You can take a remind me every week to look at it, and we'll see if it changes, it turns around, because it certainly might. But for right now, we hold off. Let me just see if I missed anybody else. Coin is good. Got Tesla, got the Spider. Again, you guys may want to check out our market opportunity report if you're interested in our overall view of the markets on a long-term and also intermediate and short-term aspect. And we update those every week, okay, that information. All right, so any more? Let's run over and take a look and see how the MNQ is doing on the day trading time frame. Ooh, what a mess, okay, a little messy here. All right, you don't want to be trading this quite yet. All right, so this is multiple time frame analysis once again. Let me just get rid of the order entry system here. So this is a 1 minute time frame. This is a 5 minute, and this is a 15-second. All right, so this is messy, okay? You don't want to take any of the pyramids until you bounce out of that channel. So you kind of want to stay away with this. Let's take a look right now. You know, on a short time frame, that could mean you got to wait, you know, half an hour. So on this one here, kind of messy too. So it's kind of messy today. Not a clean move down like you had, or clean move down you had the other day. Look at that, boom. All right, and earlier. Right now it's kind of consolidating. So we kind of got to see which way it's going to move here. And I'm seeing red over here, so it's probably going to pull back down a little bit. So I would be flat this market. I wouldn't do anything with this. Let's take a look at gold. I kind of would stay away from this one too. This is green. You know, it's red on this 15-second, but this is messy. It's almost like a pennant in here. We need to wait for these markets to make a decision on a significant move. And right now I'm not seeing it. All right, not there. Let's take a look at crude oil. Okay, crude oil is one that is moving up right now. However, we have a red PTF here. So I actually would look for a short trade. If the first sign of weakness, if this is a 3, okay, let's see if this is an A, B, C, or if the correction is over, then this will abruptly turn green soon. And then we're going to want to look for a long position. So I would be ready for a long or a short position on this, but it's got to break one way or the other with the PTF either being green or staying red and then having a move down. So we're seeing it still going up slightly a little bit. So we could be in a corrective B wave in this. So I kind of would stay away from that. Not as clear as I like it, because what's not clear about it is it looks like you have a nice ABC here. And so that means this could run up, but this would not be usually red when you see that. So that's what's causing me pause on that one. M2K, which is the E-mini Russell. All right, a lot of red PTF. So again, I'd be looking for more of a short trade on this after this move to the upside is finished. Messy. All right, so the intraday markets are pretty messy today. All right, a lot of times, sometimes when you look at a messy market on the intraday time frames, just like you would on a position trade, sometimes the best trade is no trade until things become more clear. All right, so that's what's cooking there. All right, let's see if we have any more stocks coming in here. We got, we looked at JPM, Adrian, for you. Yes, Adrian. Adrian's asking us if we have a Facebook page, and the answer is yes. Okay, we do have a Facebook page, and I'll put the link up in the recording area. But if you go to our website at www.traderscoach.com and look on the upper area of the website, upper right-hand side, you'll see a little icon that will take you to our Facebook page. That's probably the easiest way for you to get there right away. Okay, and then join us. Okay, make sure you join us because we do post there. And we welcome everybody posting there as well. So if you have a good chart you want to look at or something, feel free to post it there. All right, cool. All right, well, I think I went through them all. All right, what did I miss? Did I miss anything? What do you think? We got silver, we got the cryptos today. All right, so let me just, before we say goodbye here, let's just go over what we kind of like here. So we like SMH. I'm going to type that one in again. All right, so SMH, all right, looks to us like you hit the target on the pullback. So we should get to about 337 all the way up to the fib extension of 443. So that's the target zone. So once you get above 337, you're in the target. So you got to be careful with that, okay? But you got a lot of room to go, and you got a nice pyramid here. So this one is not, I would look at this as a trade maybe you might be in for a couple months because you're going in the right direction. You're always in a trade longer than you think when it's going your way because you haven't been stopped out, right? So I'm liking that. SMH looks pretty good here. Dash is our other one we're recommending today. Testing, 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 testing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Let's see if you got me back here. Okay, let's see if you got me back. Thank you for letting me know. You know, I'm like the last one to know when the audio. Testing, testing. Can you hear me now? It was in and out, in and out. Testing, testing. Yeah, it was gone again. Well, I got to tell you, we're almost done anyway. All right, if you can hear me now, the cam seems like I got a message that popped up that said something on my Google browser switched it or something. I have no idea what that's all about. But in any case, okay. All right, so MARA we liked a lot, okay, but it's not ready yet. So don't go into this one, okay? All right, good. All right, so that is it for today. I think I went through them all. And again, the winners are SMH, DASH, and SLV. Okay, so you got a bunch there. All right. So we're going to see you next week. All right. Have a good week. And thanks for attending. And give us a like. Okay. Likes are important on the YouTube situation or whatever browser or platform you viewed us on today. Give us a like, heads up, whatever they allow you to do, because that helps our numbers. Okay. Apparently that's important. All right. So that's it. Thanks for being here. Now, also too, one more thing I'll mention. This week we kicked off a trial on our software. So you may want to actually take a trial. And it's a paid trial. It's not free. But we also give you quite a bit of education for free that you can keep for life. Okay. So it's a really good deal. You can test all our software. You know, if you use NinjaTrader, TradeStation, any of the compatible platforms like that, you can take a trial on all our software. And if you don't have a platform right now that you want to use, you can use NinjaTrader. It's free. Okay. And then we come and install the software for you. So there you have it. Okay. There you have it. All right. Dash. You want to see Dash again? DASH. All right, Sergio. So on Dash here, what we like about it is that it came way, way down, formed a bottom. We got a pyramid entry here. Nice place to put your stop here. You know, I'm all about early entries. We don't have an active bearish pyramid here because prices are above it. Okay, so you kind of are in great shape with green here, nothing red here, nothing red here. So it's looking like a good time for an early entry, but you got to keep your stop pretty low. All right. If you're going to keep your stop here, instead of down at the bottom here, then you got to wait for a green pyramid. Okay. But other than that, if you want to go ahead and get in now and put your stop low enough, because you're in early, for a nice rebound, you can get it. And we think, based on the fib retracements that I drew, I think probably we're looking at 115 to 162. And that would be a retracement, fib retracement, okay? So that's looking pretty good. Okay. Looks good. All right. So again, thanks for being here. And what we'll do is we'll be back next week, same time. So please join us again. Feel free to bring any stocks or ETFs you want me to look up. And, you know, welcome, okay, for those that are new here. All right, so again, we'll have the recording with the timeline on there in a couple hours. It takes us a couple hours to put that on there. And I'll put some new links up for the software trial there. If you go to our website and you go to software, you'll see software and 30-day trial. Click on that, and there's a little button where you can go ahead and take the trial, all right? All right, Sergio, my pleasure. Welcome, all right? Adrian, question mark. Not sure what that means, but okay. All right. Great to see everybody here. Al, nice to have you here. Jim, nice to have you here as well. And you guys have a good one. Okay. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. See you next week.